You know you got an improv guy when he's doing face exercises before an interview.
This is what I do before I do an audition or meeting, because when you warm your face up, your lips move a lot easier and you're more relaxed.
This is what I do before I go to an audition or a meeting.
And
because it warms your face up and it makes you more relaxed. I'm joking.
I know you are.
But it was perfect timing.
Yeah, really, yeah.
How's that for improv? Would you like a little?
Why not? The hell.
Yeah.
When you're in Rome, you know?
For Christ's sake, it's cold. It's a little chilly.
Well, that's for you. You're an Easterner, aren't you?
I am. I'm from Ohio, but it's still not. You're not used to it.
Well, you're an Easterner, but you're a pussy.
Oh, fuck it. Here we go. Well,
okay, here we go.
There's a little of that.
Here's the nicest pussy I know.
Do not shoot this.
Hey. Now I know what you meant by do not shoot this. And I didn't. I stopped halfway through. It's nice.
Yeah, it's a nice little sip.
Yes, it is.
Nice little sip. So this is a very interesting little interview we got planned here today. The reason I'm doing this is because you are actually responsible for a lot more of this than you think. When I was building my fence out front, all of a sudden, all these neighbors started talking to me that I'd never known before. I'd been here 10 years, never spoke to anybody, but I started building out front and everybody's happy. I'm trying to make the place look better. And they're all like, ready to go, great job, whatever. And that's when I met you, started talking, so on and so forth. And it occurred to me that I really enjoy talking to interesting people. That have amazing stories that you wouldn't get anywhere else. I know everybody who doesn't live in California thinks, there must be actors on every corner. And yet, there fucking are. That's not a saying. Like, everybody you see is like, aren't you that guy? Yes, it's that guy. And you are certainly one of those guys, because you've just been in all these odd little points of our collective memory, and then whenever anybody says something, they go,
you're that guy?
Yeah, and Jed is very quick to say, hey, you know who I am?
I do not say that, you asshole. I know that. Dude. I never said you know who I am in my life.
Dude, my God. Dude.
I'll tell you what I say.
Here's the introduction.
You want me to tell you how I do it?
Okay, here we go.
Because it turns out to be very interesting for people who don't do this, or even when they do what I do, to find out about these couple of things, right? So the way I maneuver it, because people enjoy it, and I see that how much they enjoy it. So here's what happens, okay? So I just lived right down the block, and so and so and so and so and such and such and such. What do you do, by the way? What's your name again? Oh yeah. What do you do?
Yeah.
Me too. I'm an actor. Oh really? They say. Oh, would I have seen you in anything? Let me see. Have you ever seen the movie Casino?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm the guy. Okay. I'm in a lot of scenes. Okay, but the one scene that everybody remembers and knows is when I killed Joe Pesci in a cornfield with a baseball bat.
Right. Now, maybe it's my memory because I was so excited that I met the guy that killed Joe Pesci. But the way I remember it is, we're literally talking about anything else. And I get, have you seen Casino? I was like, yeah. He's like, I'm the guy that killed Joe Pesci. It came so fast in our conversation. But God bless you for that. I love that. I think it made me laugh. And I was like, and guess what? Every single time I see him and I'm with somebody, I'm like, dude, that's the guy who killed Joe Pesci in Casino. So
you may be right about that. I think
quick.
I think I was so impressed by you.
No, but at that point you didn't even know.
Well, you told me you told me you did some shit.
Oh, okay.
And I was impressed by you, and I wanted you to know that I did the same kind of stuff, and in something that I did do that you would be even more impressed. Okay?
The only time I think that you felt impressed by me was when you watched Fastest DeLorean, and then you asked me what was the budget. And I was like, was none. It's like, whatever, I got 10,000, but I was like, I literally did everything by myself. And you were like, okay, all right, this guy's a little interesting. So
now you're talking about yourself now.
Yeah, well, what am I going to do? I built a shed in my backyard. Come on.
Well,
I don't care about talking about myself.
Well, you're wrong about one thing. That's not the first time I was impressed by you. When I came back here and I saw a fucking miniature golf course here, that impressed me.
Right.
And then, you took it down.
What? The sun finally did it in.
Yeah, when I saw that thing here, I wanted to blow you.
Right, it's understandable.
And I'm mostly straight.
Obviously. Why would I think anything but?
I'm all straight, okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
At least today, anyhow. So I've been impressed by many of the things you've done.
Thank
and when you're a DeLorean and what you do here, and you're just an amazing guy. Well, however impressed you are by one scene, what about my Seinfeld?
I'm up. Yes, he was in Seinfeld. Mark 1 and 2. He was also in Seinfeld. What was the role that you played in Seinfeld?
I was the owner of the non-fat yogurt shop.
There you go. Simple as that. And you said you still get like good residuals from that.
I get more residuals from Seinfeld than anything I've ever done on a regular basis.
Because Seinfeld gets more residuals than anybody in the world.
He needs it to pay that rent on that building he bought to hold his 750 Porsches, I'm sure.
Good for him, dude.
Yeah,
salute.
I know. I'm not bitter about the aspect of that.
You're not bitter at all. Why would you think that?
Fucking bitter.
Mm. But what actually impresses me about you is you speak like a human being, like down to earth. We can talk like two men. Had nothing to do with the industry, and you told me many stories about Hollywood that I've always found interesting because it's what you don't usually hear. And hell, I remember going to your backyard. Pinky Tuscadero was there. I'm like, that's kind of fucking weird. What the fuck are the chances? Yeah, I know.
I don't know what's happened to her. Her number's changed, and she hasn't called me.
Well, I mean, she looked like she was near the end.
She's not dead because I keep checking up on her.
Right.
She's still alive somewhere.
She was having some issues, but you collect all these weird, interesting people through life, and there is something about Hollywood and the amount of interactions you have and stories, and obviously people in Hollywood are interesting characters. That's why they're in Hollywood, right? So it is kind of cool. Your backyard barbecues aren't like the backyard barbecues in Ohio. And it's not because you're better or worse. It's just that...
A little bit.
A little bit. But it's just that the really kooky motherfuckers came out here, right? If you were... I looked at myself in the mirror and said, I don't belong in Ohio. I'm really strange. Where will I belong? I bet this belongs here. And I was right. Not the way I thought I was going to be right, but I was still right. How long have you been out here?
I got 42 years, actually.
Wow.
I was brought out here by Dick Clark, name dropping, to do a TV series with Frankie Avalon back in 1976.
How the fuck did I not know this? Go ahead. See, this is what I mean, dude.
And Annette Funicello.
Okay, so what on earth were you going to be doing on this TV show? What was the TV show?
Comedy and music. Basically.
Brought out here.
Frankie is obviously the star of the show, and he sings.
But what show?
Called Easy Does It.
Easy Does It.
On CBS.
1976.
76. I got here. It was May 30th. We started shooting on March, April, May, June. Just because I'm a talented, handsome, charming guy doesn't mean I'm smart. June 2nd, the TV, 4 episodes of Easy Does It.
The fact that you remember that from 42 years ago is ridiculous.
I remember everything from the past. It's yesterday. I have a problem.
Yes.
Oh, dude. How did I get here? Where am I?
If that is the truest statement about getting old ever.
What do you mean by old?
Yeah. Literally, it was December 3rd, and I went... That is my friend James Womack's birthday from 3rd grade. And I went on Facebook and said, hey, it's your birthday today. I didn't even look. And he's like, yeah, how the hell did you know that? I'm like, I don't remember what I did yesterday, but I remembered your birthday was December 3rd. And yeah, that's how your brain works, man. That's intense.
I remember. I'm a twin.
Oh, really?
Yes. I remember being in the carriage with my twin sister. We had a double carriage. I remember it. And the awning thing was up. What do we call the canopy was up?
You mean a stroller?
No, it wasn't a stroller. It was a carriage that you lie down straight on.
In the 1890s? The fuck are you talking about?
No, 1720. And I remember my mother coming over and caring for us. I don't know what she was doing, caring for us and whatnot. And I remember like it was clear as day.
Right.
And my sisters, I have 3 sisters besides my twin sister, older sisters. I remember that, and I also remember very, very clearly things that happened as I was 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old. My memory is amazing from when I was a young boy.
Right. And then it starts to get hazy. How old are you, by the way?
In January, which is January 12th, I'll be 78.
You will be 78 in January.
78, yeah.
So you are, and the other thing that must be said about Jed, every time my knee hurts, I'm frustrated because this guy is doing shit at close to 80.
Wait a minute, what?
Riding a motorcycle, working on his backyard. Like, I mean, I'm amazed at the amount of... What do you do to stay physical? Do you lift weights? Do you...
Work in my backyard.
Right, but I mean, there's got to be something on top of that. You have to have some regimen.
Yeah.
Eating...
I'm blessed. I have a younger wife, which, my spirit is very high in terms of my morale. I didn't smoke. I quit smoking, and in fact, I quit smoking the year I got here. Smoked for about 10 years.
4 years.
And I think that has a lot to do with my youth.
Right.
Whatever that is. And I was never, although I was a drug addict, you knew that.
I didn't, but it was funny that was... Here's why I look so good. I don't smoke, but I'm a drug addict.
I was freebasing.
Shitting Christ, in the 80s?
25 years. Now, here's the thing about freebasing, okay? It helps you develop strong lungs.
So kids, listen up. If you'd like to have
if
strong
you're going to
lungs.
smoke anything, smoke cocaine, because cigarettes will fuck you up.
Okay, so give me the year range that you were doing this.
Probably from, let's see, I think I started around 80 when I was doing The Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby. 1980.
I can see him being kind of the catalyst for that.
Nope.
You know? Well, no, just looking at him going, well, look at this fucking guy.
I scored for him a few times.
Right. I didn't mean to pull that piece out.
No, that's okay.
So 80...
He did cocaine, but he was, just a wonderful... Actually, can I brag a little bit? Okay, so my first guest starring role that I went up for was The Incredible Hulk.
Right.
And I played a little Weasley little guy, who's like the sidekick of the lookalike David Banner, played by Bill Bixby.
Right.
And I went there with a white suit that I had that I used to wear for character stuff, and a plaid shirt and a Mexican tie with burros on it, right? And I talk like this, because I was doing a guy I knew back in Brooklyn who spoke like that. Yeah. And I said they was looking for like that kind of a weaselly little guy, so I went with that voice and that character, and I got home and I was booked.
Nice.
Did that show. First time I was at Bill Bixby and we were rehearsing, he couldn't stop laughing. He just loved the character so much. We became as close as you can get in a week. Really loved me. I loved him. It was great. 6 months later, the next season, he calls me and he says, I'm directing my first episode of The Hulk, and I would like you to do one of the guest leads. This was a guest lead too, by the way. It was my first guest starring role. The lead was Jean-Paul Lefranc, who was a mercenary, very, very, very up class, very, very educated, lots of money, but he was a mercenary.
Right.
And he wanted to kill the Incredible Hulk, the Hulk. Okay. He called me at home and asked me if I would do the role. I said, let me think about it, yes. So that was, and then I was with him that week. I was with him on a Friday, and I think he heard on Saturday that his son just died. His son, a little 5-year-old, 6-year-old boy, was born with a heart thing, I think a hole in his heart or something like that. And Bill would spend every single weekend with that little boy in their house trailer, the house, mobile home, traveling around the mountains, whatnot. Every single weekend he had that boy. He was broken-hearted. I went, that was on a Friday, I left there Saturday, I heard that. Monday I showed up because I heard about that. He was on the set doing the show. Bill, what are you doing here? I wanted to check on you, make sure you're okay, but what are you doing? He said, gotta work, Jed. I don't want to be thinking about this.
Yeah.
Broken-hearted, and just...
You think the world of him, clearly.
I do. I think the world of him.
But freebasing cocaine,
I happen to have a little with me. Let me get it.
I'm good. This is as much as I can do it. Whatever it is, 11:30 in the morning. Good Lord. So you were doing this past the turn of the century. You're talking 20 years?
25 years.
Fuck.
Well, actually, I graduated to crack at some point because when you do cocaine, you have to buy it, and which is great. I didn't care about buying it. Well, I did a lot. I started selling it too, by the way, because then I would just not have to pay for it. But I started doing crack because it already made. So crack is the poor man's version of freebase.
That's more efficient. I understand.
Yeah, you don't have to cook it. You just buy it, smoke it.
Literally, you're being responsible at this point.
Yeah.
When you go to crack, it's clearly you're thinking of your kids.
And there was good crack and there was bad crack.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sometimes you got pieces of chunks of soap. Or a stone, you know.
But that wouldn't kill you. It'd just make you pissed.
No, it just piss you off, and you go looking for somebody to kill, and then you say, "What am I doing?
Right.
I could get killed in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Let me get out of here." So then, let me tell you a lot of things. A lot of people don't know about this, but I don't give a shit. I'm writing a book too, by the way.
Okay, I was going to say, really? Because
because stuff that happened to me when I was a young man.
Right.
It actually equals stuff that has happened to me since all the shit I'm telling you about.
Yeah.
What was I saying? This is about the memory thing, you know, that you forget about a second ago.
I can imagine.
What was I saying?
We're freebasing cocaine. We're moving on to crack.
Yeah.
I
know what. It was. I got here in '76. By 1980, I was my brother, thank you, Billy, I really appreciate that if you're watching this, hands me an ounce of coke. And he says, sell it. Everybody was doing coke.
Right.
You know, you took out a gram of coke at a party, you get it laid that night. Okay?
Right.
I said, okay, so I was selling it. And I would tell people, swear to God, well, why are you buying this shit?
Yeah.
You don't need this, but I had all this fun making up these little packets, you know, so nice.
Right.
And it was fun to do that. It was kind of like a hobby. My second wife, who was a total, absolute, selfish, stupid asshole, said, let's do some. I don't want to do it. No. She said, let's just do a little bit, okay? And and then somebody turned me on to freebasing. Okay. And I thought I had found God.
Right.
Because freebasing was like electric. It was beautiful.
Not that you miss it or anything.
I wish why should I miss it? I'm still doing it.
He's looking at me like we're about to go to bed together. He's like, oh my God. Wow. What made you quit? Jesus. So
that's what I was going to say.
05, right? 05, right? We're like right at the turn of the century. You said 25 years, right?
But I was a functioning addict. You know, I took care of my children. I got them to school every day.
Right.
I freebased all night long. Got up in the morning, made them breakfast, got them to school. And I had to go from Venice to Franklin and Hoover to get my daughter to school, and Wonderland to get my son to school. Driving, having not slept all night long, stopped doing crack or freebase just in time to wake the kids up to get them. Right. And so my head cleared up magically.
So if you're being this amazing, efficient, and responsible, what would make you go, I don't want to do that anymore? There had to be a moment where you're like, okay.
I would sometimes go to bed and I'd crying like a baby. Why am I doing this? I can't. I got to stop this. I got to stop crying to my mommy who was already gone. She wasn't gone yet. Crying, you know, I got religion. God, what the fuck are you doing? As soon as 7 o'clock came along, I called the guy, they delivered, and I was...
Right, so why did you stop? Or have you not stopped?
That's what I'm going to tell you.
Okay, I'm like, good Lord, you're acting like...
You want to hear the build-up, don't you?
No, I heard it. Fuck.
Okay,
again.
So, my nephew Stephen, who's a total absolute asshole, he even likes Trump.
You know what? The funny thing is, you say total absolute, and I'm waiting for a mensch. Like, I'm waiting for the positive, and then you're like, total absolute selfish cunt.
He actually can be a mensch.
Okay.
And he's been through crack. He's been through a drug. You know, and he visits L.A. He's from Massapequa, and he visits L.A. and there's a little burn on my lip. He says, Jed, you got to stop that.
Yeah.
He says, his sister who is multi-millionaire, they have these houses in Saratoga Springs, New York. These Victorian buildings, right? There's an apartment becoming available. You got to move. You got to get out of here. I had a frame shop, by the way. I had a business.
Where?
Right on Santa Monica Boulevard in Hoover.
Okay.
I had my own frame shop. I was a framer. I was doing great. I was making money and buying crack.
Right.
So, and I said, you know what? I got to get out of here. So I got a trailer. I built made sure it was, a house trailer,
right.
A 4x8 trailer, and I pulled it there with my little truck that you see outside. Mm-hmm. Pulled it over the Rocky Mountains. I got to there, and I never did crack since.
Wow.
Because I got out of here.
Yeah.
Stayed there for 2.5 years teaching at the Saratoga Springs Performing Arts Center. I was doing one intensive after another teaching. I made a bunch of money at one, but I couldn't stand living on fucking Mars.
Right. Yeah.
So I said, I got to get out of here. And I came back, and I haven't done any drugs since.
Huh.
Yeah, that's how I stopped.
My goodness, man. That's a hell of a story. One I was not expecting.
You should hear the stories of the getting crack sometimes. The places you have to go.
Oh, yeah, it's crack.
Yeah. I remember one time
Krispy Kreme.
I'm living in Venice, and I don't have a delivery system yet, and I have to get. So what I do is get into my what was it? Fucking Jeep.
Right.
Jeep Cherokee, one of those white ones that are like square, right? And that's not registered. Okay, and I go walking. I'm driving around what they call the Hood. It's south of Rose and west of Lincoln. Okay, and I make a turn and I'm starting going down the street. And
2 blocks south of the fuck is wrong with you? Sorry.
And there's 4 cop cars, and I'm fucking whacked out because I've been doing crack. For the last couple of hours, and I should not be driving a car.
Right.
And I drive through these. I drive through it, and the cops are looking at me as I'm going through. They never looked at my license plate, and I'm thinking now I'm not registered. The car's not registered. They're going to stop me. They're going to look at my eyes. They're going to see that they're dilated,
Right.
And they're going to arrest me. And I'm out on probation from having been busted with a kilo of cocaine getting off a plane recently.
How the fuck do you put that in a plane? I never understand that.
What?
That's taking coke in a plane. Like, come on, man. I feel weird if I put alcohol in my car and it's open. You know what I mean? Even if it's in the trunk, in my head, I'm like, I don't know. Coke in a plane?
Kilo.
What the fuck? What kind of balls?
Well, I don't think it's balls as much as it is stupid.
Yeah. Well, just
money.
Obviously, there was a money aspect to that
transaction.
transaction.
My brother was supposed to go. My brother Billy, because he's the one who was like the supplier, but he had connections in Florida, and but he had gone scuba diving and he touched an urchin, and his hands were all swollen and he couldn't go.
Yeah.
I said, I'll go.
How'd that work out for you?
Why not? Why you pick it up, you put it in your car, and you get on with it. So, coming out, I have a one-man show about that, by the way. You've never seen that, have you?
I saw some video clips.
You've seen the trailer,
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was horrible. I mean, it was not a fun time in my life, but at the same time, like I said, I was a functioning addict. Took care of my kids. I always, the movie. My favorite year.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was in that. I don't know if I ever told you that. And I'm freebasing in my trailer. I got a nice, beautiful trailer.
It's like I don't remember that scene in the movie, but you mean on the set?
On the set.
Okay.
Yeah. Freebasing in my trailer, and because I brought everything with me. You got to bring a pipe. You got to bring all kinds of equipment, paraphernalia. So if you're going to freebase, you got to cook shit. Stuff like that. So I'm freebasing, all dressed up with a suit and a tie because we're doing a scene of and I'm all fucked up. And they say, Jed, 5 minutes, you're on set. I'm sweating like a pig. I put everything away because if somebody comes in, they'll see all this shit. I'll be fucked. I put it all away. I get on the set. Jed, you okay? I think I got a fever or something. I said, you're gonna be okay to do this scene? Yeah, I can do it. Cameras roll, I'm straight.
Right.
Perfectly straight.
That's professional right there.
That's professional. Yeah.
Elvis could sing when he was fat and dying.
Yeah.
Show must go on.
Show must go on.
Show must go on.
Yeah.
I avoided a lot of that. It wasn't until that car blew up that my brain started going, whew, I understand everything now. because that was the first time I almost lost my livelihood in my house, and like that became that was a stress. Thankfully, I got it working now. Everything's okay, but there are moments. Remember my beer was down to my nuts. You didn't know who the fuck I was.
I didn't like it.
Nobody did. I don't like it. I don't even like this, but I'm just trying to get through the holidays. But that fire was bad. Because you started...
And you were right. You were driving the car, and the smoke was going, and you didn't know...
I didn't realize what point this played in it before, but I turned the radio on, I pumped it up. I got a big 1100 watt... 1100 watt subwoofer amp.
Okay.
And actually, because of a ground in the electrical system, that extra thing is what finally caused the gas line to fail.
Oh.
So I hit on the gas won't work. I can't.
So it was a gas line that could have led to the gas tank that could have fucking blown up?
Well, what ended up happening was the gas line failed, and it was right next to an alternator that was put in incorrectly, unfortunately, and that kind of, there was a spark on the engine, gas, right next to each other, and it blew up. But there's no rear view mirror in the time machine, because there's a whole bunch of shit behind you, you can't see it. So it wasn't until people started honking, which they always do.
They honk anyhow.
Yeah, right? So you never know. And what's funny is after the fire, when I finally got it running again, people would honk, and I'd be like... it would put my heart through my chest.
It's like when I'm driving and there's a cop car behind me.
Yeah, no, I always thought, it's still to this day, if somebody's honking, I look to see if there's smoke. But I looked over and I saw brown smoke.
Uh-huh.
It's way different than white smoke and whatever. I was like, this is a problem. I pull over, I'm like, oh my God, I have a fire extinguisher. Awesome. So I go get the fire extinguisher. I had to lift up the thing, burn my hands really bad because it's all metal. And I'm putting out the fire.
And you're holding that thing in your hand?
Yeah, well, the adrenaline at this point. You're trying to save your car. Yeah. But I got to say, even when I was doing that, part of me was going, you got kids, let it go. Right? Like, you got to weigh, are you going to risk your life for a stupid car?
Oh, yeah.
But I do the whole fire extinguisher, and the fire extinguisher goes out, and the fire's still going. And you go, oh, fuck, that doesn't happen in the movies. You know what I mean? You never think about the fire extinguisher.
What happened to happy endings? Yeah.
I know, so I dropped it, and I just stood there, and I picked up my phone, and I just started. I was like, this is the end, I guess. I'll get a video of it, right? And then I started thinking, well, I should probably get some of the more expensive time machine parts out of the car while it's on fire.
Because it's the back of the car that's on fire?
It was the back of the car, right. So I run in, I grab like a hoverboard, I'm throwing everything out, and I see a car.
But didn't you have to like disconnect them and stuff?
Well, I was going to rip them.
I see.
The adrenaline, I could have picked the car up. Like, I was fucking going. And a car comes up, and as I'm throwing something on the side, I'm like, call the fire department. I haven't done that yet. And this angel opens the door.
I've met him here.
Pulls out 2 fire extinguishers and goes here. And it was like, what the fuck? And I grab it, and I pick it up, I put the rest of it out, and that's
Was he doing one of them, and you were doing one, or what?
Well, it's kind of funny. These are a different guy. You haven't met this guy. The other guy was the tow truck guy.
Oh, okay.
But the funny thing is if once you rewatch the video, I'm in there, right? It's my car. He hasn't pulled the plug on his, and he's just kind of going back like, I'm not going to fucking die for this car. So he was behind me as moral support maybe, but he wasn't in there fighting it. I was the one. Now I'm holding it up on my knee because my hands are all blistered, and I'm getting the rest of it. And it was an amazing thing. But again, what happens after that when you realize somebody could have been in the car? I've taken my kids in that car. That car equals tens of thousands of dollars every year. You know what I mean? Like, this is not a hobby. It's not like, I lost my motorcycle. No, it's I lost everything that I'm making money on. Holy shit. And I got a pretty good life. Like, oh my God, I work part-time and life is pretty goddamn good right now. I don't want to lose that.
You're a blessed man.
I'm extremely blessed. So yeah, that kind of, again, I think having a family and the responsibilities of a family, good days and bad days change because you need to help them and make sure they're okay. Sure. And then the depth of, so.
Yeah, being a blessed man, I was just thinking, Margo Rose, she's an actor, beautiful lady, known her for many years. I just found out last night that her 19-year-old daughter died in a car crash. And when we say these horrible things that have gone on in our lives, it was so terrible. When we think of how blessed we are, my sister Carol lost 2 sons.
Yeah.
And her husband. She's a broken person. That we are so blessed to have what we have. My brother's a millionaire.
Right.
My niece is a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
My wife does. Thank God for my wife, you know. And I bring in money, you know, but not nearly as much as she does.
Right.
But when I think of how lucky I am, I'm walking down the street and I see somebody. I did a play when I played a person with cerebral palsy, and I had to do a lot of research, and I went to all these places. When I see what's going on in this world,
yeah.
I mean, if you think about the children in these places, these countries that are starving and with bellies that are, we are so blessed.
Oh yeah, the privilege of being in this country. You know, no matter what's going on right now politically, there's a privilege to it that until you've traveled, you don't really get a feel for it.
But I've traveled extensively,
Yeah.
And there are countries that have the same and better.
Well, now we're talking first world problems. That's the definition of it. You know what I mean?
Course,
like, I get it. Sure, you can talk about healthcare and this and that.
Listen, I love this country. I think it's a beautiful country. I don't love the scumbag that says he's a president, you know. But there's Where'd you get this?
That's a Robert Mueller bobblehead doll.
Where'd you get it?
I bought it. It's on Amazon.
Oh, no shit.
On Friday.
Don't ever take it out of this case.
Oh, no, I'm going to take it out.
Okay, I'm getting one. Are they still available?
Oh, yeah. I'll give you the link. No, when the thing came out, there was a story that came out that explained that what he did with Manafort, which is basically Manafort, quote-unquote, agreed to cooperate. Mueller kind of knew he was full of shit, but he let him think that. Meanwhile, Mueller's feeding everything back to Trump for 2 months. He knew. I'm sorry. Manafort's feeding everything back to Trump for 2 months.
Oh, okay.
Mueller knew. He just let him go, and then boom, he goes back and says breach of the plea agreement, breach of the plea deal. Manafort's going to jail forever. And now that we got the answers from Trump, we know exactly what you told him, and you just obstructed justice. I mean, he's just so masterful. Like, it's just competence personified that I have a Republican lawyer's fucking bobblehead doll sitting in my bar. That's how impressed I am.
I'm getting one. I'll have it by Saturday.
All right.
Now, what is this thing about this Mueller just threatened this guy to lie about stuff? You hear about that?
No, that's what the Trump side is saying.
Yeah. Just Trump.
No, that's what Gotti would say. Like, that's... You know, Mueller took Gotti down. And of course, if
John
what?
John Gotti?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just watched it last night with Robert.
John Travolta.
John Travolta, yeah. He's fucking great.
Oh, is he? I heard it was the worst fucking movie in the world.
Well, I come from that neighborhood.
Right.
I grew up with those people. It's not the worst movie in the world. It's all bullshit.
Right.
But it's not. I mean, Travolta is making this guy a semi-hero.
Yeah.
You know, and he's not a semi-hero. Yeah. I grew up with these fucking guys. I fought myself with 5.
Right. I'm just making sure we're okay. We were like 5 minutes away.
I fought 5 of them at one time. Me in a bar in Brooklyn.
How'd that work out?
I beat the shit out of most of them.
He's like a couple of them.
The only thing they got me when they hit me over the head with the bar stool. Okay, but then I got away, and I told them I'm coming back for each one of you motherfuckers. Okay, I was 23 at the time. You know?
Right.
I had been in the army. I was on a boxing team. I was I was a badass motherfucker.
Right.
You know, and they picked on me. This guy picked on me. His name is Peanuts. I'll never forget this piece of shit.
Peanuts?
Peanuts, yeah. He was one of the wannabe wise guys in Brooklyn, you know. Right. And he didn't realize who he was fucking with. I don't go picking fights with anybody, but out of desperation and fear, I kick ass.
Right.
I don't know if I can still do it. I probably could. But so I know what these... I've watched them beat a guy, 5 of them, a drunk guy who couldn't even stand to a pulp.
Yeah. They're bullies.
They're bullies and they're cowards. You know, every now and then there's a guy with muscles out of here who can actually kick the shit out. You don't want to fuck with him because he will tear you apart. But these guys...
But quickly on the line about Mueller's forcing people to lie, that's what that's the idea that Trump and Giuliani, and they're all putting out there whenever you get somebody to flip.
Yeah.
Meaning, Cohen did all this bad stuff. Mueller says, if you lie about this, we'll give you... What Trump is missing is that anything these witnesses say, he's corroborated already, dude. It doesn't matter. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. He's already got the phone records. He's already got wiretaps. He's already got the emails.
He's got it all down.
Yeah, so it's not as if everything Manafort is saying or Gates is saying or Cohen is saying is somehow what is keeping them out. They're basically, it's more corroborating evidence.
Do you think it's going to make a difference?
Oh, yeah. Now I do. I didn't until... Here's what I absolutely think is going to happen. I think that all of the indictments are sealed and waiting to be unsealed for everybody, including Donald Trump. They will not waste time.
They can't arrest him while he's sitting.
Well, no, they won't waste time to indict a sitting president, because what's the point? Who cares? He's not going to be... He could feasibly be a normal person in like 24 months. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not that long.
But there's a possibility he's not going to be.
Sure. I mean, if they're impeachment or they found out enough that they actually got the Senate to do 67 votes. But I'm not even talking about that. Let him finish his term. The second he is a free man and he gets on that helicopter and flies away, where's he going to land? He will be arrested. I believe that they're going to keep everything sealed until he's just a normal person. We're talking state-level crimes that nobody can pardon him for. Unless he somehow pays off all the governors in all the states that are going to... The New York governor, the D.C. governor, the Virginia governor. You know what I mean? Like, people keep saying, he's going to be pardoned federally. Yeah, but then what? The state can bring him for the same money laundering crimes as the feds did. So, yeah, I think I don't see any way out of this for him.
From your mouth to God's ear.
We'll see. I mean, that's why it's so interesting to watch. And if anybody can do it, this guy is... setting the perfect pyramid, which is where you get everybody here.
He really fucked up when he brought Mueller into the game.
Well, he was so stupid. He should have fired him immediately.
Yeah,
he should have. I mean, if he was willing to fire Comey, why the fuck didn't he fire Mueller immediately? What were they going to do? What was the GOP going to do? They weren't going to do anything. Mm. He should have knocked everybody out and let them impeach him, because they never would have done. Well, and now we'll see what happens next year. Mm. All right, we could literally talk for 5 hours. We probably have to do this again. I only have 40 minutes on the camera, so we're
are we done?
Yeah, we're done as done can be. I mean, we can
Is
keep
there anything
talking.
you wanted me to tell you about? Anything you want to tell me to tell you?
It's funny. We should foreshadow shit we don't have time to say. You and Laverne, you and Carrie Fisher. This man dated Carrie Fisher.
And Laverne.
No, actually, Penny Marshall. Sorry, I keep calling her Laverne.
And others.
Yep. He's got a very unbelievably sordid history. And you lost Carrie to Paul Simon.
Well, she was engaged to him when we were seeing each other. He was living in New York, and she was living in L.A. So she.
You don't give me a Christmas card from the Simon family anymore.
Well, the thing about he was obsessed with Carrie,
right?
And he wanted to marry Carrie,
right?
And he was one of those guys that was relentless in his pursuit, and he was like 24 years old, something like that. And she was as brilliant as she is. Yeah. She was a brilliant woman. She was.
He's not ready.
Didn't know what to do. So she finally got married, and then about a year later, I'm not sure exactly, she called me up one day and says, I dumped the nerd.
The nerd?
Or the gook, or the geek, or something like that.
She said, I'm pretty sure it wasn't the gook.
The geek. Okay. Not the gook, the geek, yeah. I dumped the geek. And I said, well, we talked about that, Carrie. Why did you get married? She said... Can I say a real quick story?
About you try, until the red light goes off.
It's going to be quick, okay. Right. Hamill. Mark Hamill, who was in the L.A. law thing, right? Whatever that was.
Mark Hamill. Luke Skywalker.
No, not him. The other Hamill. Hamlin.
Yeah,
he is married to this wonderful
woman.
Harry Hamlin. I knew him, too. He's a very nice guy, by the way.
Saw him at Home Depot a couple years ago. I was like, hey, it's Harry Hamlin. Sorry.
And he and his fiancée and Carrie and the geek, what's his name?
Paul Simon.
They go to the 50th state.
50th state?
The 50th state for the
Hawaii.
Hawaii, thank you.
4 Jews go to Hawaii. Here we go. All right.
And one day, Paul and Harry's fiancée want to go on a helicopter ride but Paul and the fiance, but Harry and Carrie don't want to.
Okay.
So they stay back. Okay? So when they get back, Paul interrogated Carrie for 2 days. What did you do? Did you fuck him?
Right.
Did you fuck him? What
Right.
did you do? No, I didn't. And she didn't. She
Right.
would tell you right away.
Yeah.
She'd say, I would. That's the kind of person she was.
Right.
We were just friends. You come on. You. How could you be with this handsome guy and not fuck him? She actually ran the whole scenario by me. Exactly what happened. Took 10 minutes
Right.
to talk about how Paul Simon was.
A little insecure. He's got the short man complex, man. He's got the.
Once when there's a party, he and Art are over the house up in. They actually she was renting Elaine Streets' house.
Yeah.
And that's where we first had a little thing, and but Paul wasn't there. But Paul and Art show up from New York, and by the way, Art and Penny. Penny was totally in love with Art, but he wouldn't marry her because he was bisexual. And so he has to have his
Right.
bisexual thing going
Right.
on, and she was brokenhearted over that. So Paul is there, and I've been telling Carrie all these jokes, and Carrie says, "Joe, tell Paul that joke that you told me about so and so." I went through 10 or 15 jokes,
That's not, okay.
and Paul was going like this, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's funny, yeah. And I was saying, I'm getting like, She said, tell another one about it. She was hoping to get a laugh out of him.
Not happening.
Couldn't get a fucking laugh out of him. Brilliant musician, songwriter.
Oh,
I'm one of his.
Paul Simon.
Paul Simon, you
Yeah,
know.
I know.
Personality, 0. You know?
Well, sometimes that happens, man.
Yeah. I felt bad for the guy. You know what she told me one time? She said, he's worth $20 million. She
Right.
told me. That was back then. That's
Right.
peanuts now.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Peanuts.
I'd take those peanuts. That's a
I'd
lot of
take
peanuts.
those peanuts, yeah.
There's a lot of peanuts. All right, I don't want to cut off a story mid.
It's done.
going to make everybody like, oh!
I got one more thing to say.
Yeah, right.
Oh, another time?
Dude, we'll do this again.
Yeah.
You are an awesome neighbor, and thank you for letting my kids hang out at a pool. If there's anything you need me to help clean up in your garage or move shit, he talks about being a tough man, but I'm the one who has to move his goddamn trash cans in if there's too much.
Have you done that?
I helped you move them up on the curb because they're fucking heavy. It's all right.
Oh, that time, yeah.
Dude, you're fucking 77.
And you cleaned my back out a little bit, right?
I did. I scrubbed that for you. Whatever you need me to do, I can do that for that.
Could you detail my motorcycle?
Yeah, no. This guy, there's a line. Look at my backyard. I got.
Could I whip you while you're doing it?
Right.
Could you do it naked?
Nope, not gonna happen.
Shit,
you don't really want to see it. It's been a rough year. But I'm gonna look good by about May next year.
But you're a handsome guy, by the way.
Oh, am I?
I don't know why you have all that shit.
Oh, because I'm just
a little bit is nice.
Oh, dude, I'm overweight. I don't give a shit.
Are you really?
I'm like 50 pounds overweight right now, but that's all right. You'll see me in a couple
in
months.
the movie. You're like an idol. I mean, in the movie, you're beautiful. You're so handsome.
You know what I am in
You're
the movie?
a handsome guy.
You know what I am in the movie?
What?
We are going to bed after this. You know what I am in the movie?
Again?
I'm honest. That's what I took from it. Whenever I watch it and I take the hat off, that's me. I obviously come across as
I've been telling
earnest and like, holy fuck, this poor guy. I was so happy for that dude when he won at the end. Like, I literally, every time that happens and I get the record, I'm like I get excited. Like, it's
what
not
guy
me.
that won what?
I got the record at the very end when my cousin...
Oh, yes, of course. That speed thing, yeah.
Right, I still feel like, that guy did it. Good for him. Like, that's hard to come across on camera sometimes, so I'm proud of that.
Are we still on?
Yeah.
Okay, the one guy that won something, I wanted to pistol whip him.
Okay.
Best actor for that movie, Casey Affleck.
Yeah.
Imagine getting a best
Because
actor.
he's an asshole?
No, because he's the worst fucking actor on the planet. He sucked in that movie. You see that movie?
I didn't see the movie, by the way. But I love
and the guy who did the thing about looking for his parents, it was fucking brilliant. The Indian guy. It was,
meet the... Searching for the schmuckers or something. Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, he was trying to... By the way, I have tile.
Do you have that?
Yeah.
That's how I know. I happen to have this with me today.
Yeah, but you do realize that the tile will make your phone ring without the tile on it. Did you know that?
What?
Meaning, if you just put this on your keys and you double click it, it'll make your phone ring.
Oh, that happens. That's what's happening? That's what's happening?
You don't need to have the tile on the phone.
Oh.
The phone is its own tile. You put the tile on the keychain. I'm about to school him. Got to turn it off right now. All right. Awesome. It was, again, so awesome. Had a fun time. Jesus.